Today, once again, we're coming to you from Man's Restoration here in Festus, Missouri. And we thought we'd give you a closer look at this 1960 Chevrolet Impala 4-door. And this one's being built to a pretty high standard, so we thought it was worth taking a closer look at. First off, it's actually riding on a full Roadster Shop chassis, so it's a full custom chassis. You can see up front here, it has the tubular A-arms, the coilover shocks, pretty impressive. And it also has a set of Wilwood disc brakes all the way around. And then it's riding on these custom billet specialties wheels. These were actually made to mimic the original hubcaps that came on these cars. We got one hanging up over here so we can take a look. But you can kind of take a look at that. So you got that flag detail right there in the center, and then those sort of spokes on the outside there. But these mimic that pretty well. Pretty close match, I think. And obviously this one is also powered by an LS engine. This is actually based on the 6.2 liter LS3 V8. And it's got Holley fuel injection up top. This one came from Don Hardy. And it's pumping out somewhere around 480 horsepower. And of course it's going to have all the modern conveniences. Got your AC up here. And it's got a nice Griffin aluminum radiator with an electric fan. Keep everything nice and cool. Got a nice new steering shaft on there. There's that Wilwood master cylinder. But really nice setup. I mean, that's a nice reliable engine that'll get decent fuel economy too. And of course, the bodywork and paint is just beautiful on this thing. As you can see, they painted the dash in bright red, which is a color combo that you could get at the time, red and white. And it kind of retains that factory look as far as the gauge placement and all that, but it has these nice aftermarket gauges in there. So there in the center you can see it's 140 mile per hour speedometer, but then there's a little tack built in below that. And of course you have your oil pressure, temperature, voltage, fuel, everything. Pretty nice. It also has a tilt steering column, and then you can see the AC vents there. And they use those round vents just because it kind of blends in with the style of like the gauge pods and everything, so it doesn't look out of place. Then you have the factory style steering wheel there. I mean, it's going to be sharp in here. You can see the floor is fully coated, both for sound deadening as well as for, you know, rust prevention, that kind of thing. And then this is going to get a full custom interior with power seats and everything, but the plan is to cover it in a classic material like this houndstooth here. So it'll have a nice original look to it, but still have the power functions and everything. Then we added the proper badging here, of course. A nice gold plating look to it there with the Impala script badge. So by 1960, the fins had basically laid over flat on these, which has a pretty nice look to it. Nice curves and body lines on these cars. And of course it'll have the 6 tail lights. Pretty cool. Nice massive trunk on these. Right now it's housing all the bits and pieces like for the stereo and interior equipment, that kind of thing. Just trying to keep everything close to the car so nothing gets misplaced. And then back here in the rear deck, as you can see, it's got a nice modern stereo. So Bernie actually added these speakers back here as well as that kicker subwoofer right there in the center. And then I believe he's going to cover that with cloth all the way across here, so it'll, you know, still have that original appearance, but have nice sound. I mean, it's turning out really nicely. Here, I'll kind of give you a peek underneath if we can. If I have to, I'll get a light and we can look at it. There's that full custom chassis under there. And this one actually has a 4L65E automatic. So it's a nice 4-speed automatic with overdrive. So it'll be a nice highway cruiser. And like I said, get pretty decent mileage too. As you can see, the inner fenders and everything are all coated as well. Oh, there's a nice look at the Wilwood disc brakes. But it's pretty rare that you see a four-door built to this standard. I mean, this thing has all the custom touches done to it. And it's going to be pretty impressive. And I tell you, I actually like the body style of these. I like this large rear window that they have. You can see how that's going to wrap all the way around. Pretty impressive looking cars. And actually Bernie over here, Bernie Gettinger, he's been doing a lot of the work on this car. What have you been working on lately here?
Just doing some wiring to the starter and all the major power feeds off the battery since we installed the front inner fender, and get the hoses all hung and that sort of stuff.
Cool. And what are you using for a wiring harness? Is it a painless harness or?
This particular one was an auto wire Highway 22 system.
Okay.
And then we're using a Ron Francis relay pack to command all the windows and everything, and then most all the rest of the wiring was added to the system, to power up our cruise control, Dakota Digital, same as our climate controls, all Dakota Digital, interface with the vintage air unit.
Oh, cool. So it's going to have AC, power seats, power windows even, everything.
And a security system including, trunk actuator, open the trunk, all the doors, all security, and remote start.
Wow, cool. Yeah, this thing's going to have everything. Like I said, it's pretty rare to see a four-door built to this level. It's pretty impressive stuff. And these wheels and tires, I believe these are 17s. Those are, 285, 40, 17. So that's quite a bit of rubber under there too. So this thing should handle pretty nicely, I would imagine, for a big car.
And the customer requested white walls on them, so that's going to be a cool touch.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be different.
A white wall put on them also. Getting ready to get those coming. So.
Now, I was telling a little bit about the speakers there. Can you tell me a little bit more about the stereo system?
Stereo is a retro sound, which you can get a Impala little decal that puts over the top of the display, and then it'll read digital through it. And then we did Infinity speakers with kicker subwoofer, and we added an amp.
Oh, okay.
So just a small amp.
Yeah, just enough to power them well.
Big sound, but they wanted good sound. So.
So that stereo, it has sort of a factory appearance to it.
Yes, it's Bluetooth. And
so it'll look factory, but then you're saying the digital will shine through that?
Right.
Okay.
Digital display through it.
That's pretty cool. And then I noticed you hid the air controls below that. And that little door shuts so you can't see it.
Right, that's where the ashtray used to be.
That's pretty cool. I like that though. You're kind of keeping a nice factory look to everything in here, but it's all modernized. It's definitely a cool way to do it. And then I know Bernie did a lot of work getting these AC vents to fit just perfectly against this metal panel here. So it's nice and snug. And I like that those are round too, because they sort of match the gauge pods and everything.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the things the customer requested. They originally had a factory angle air that hung under the dash. And
those rectangular vents that everybody sees. Yeah.
They just didn't care for that look, and they didn't like it very much. So figured out that we could radius the Tri-5 vintage air, and made these nice chrome vents, and we can re-radius those to fit the 60 dash because it's got a lot tighter radius. So, and they're really nice heavy units, and they look great, and they worked very well on this.
So they're actual metal units, not plastic.
Yeah, they're a casted metal.
Oh, cool.
So that, and then they're chrome, and it really goes with the car.
I noticed this Ron Francis stuff here. What's that exactly?
This is actually one of the Ron Francis, of course they call it the black box, but this box carries 10 relays internal, and you can program this to command those relays by positive or negative, and this unit will carry up to 200 amps. You can even stack some of them so you can carry heavier loads, like they're only rated 20 amps, or 20 amp fuse for protection, but you can stack them and up to a couple of them, and then you can actually run a heavier load with it.
So that would be like, for instance, to run electric fans, that kind of thing, but you won't have those individual square box relays.
In this case, I got this to run the windows because there were so many relays required to run the windows up and down, so I can, I'm going to control this one with a negative, and that way I don't have to worry about hot wiring or anything, and it doesn't burn my switches up. I'm not running all the power through the switches. So I'll just flip a switch tell it to go, which one I want up or down, and the relay pack will take care of it.
Cool. That's
really
a pretty
awesome.
nice unit. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, this is a very new, it was a highlight component at SEMA, so it was really neat unit. Took a little bit to get it because it's so new, but we got it.
That's cool. So this car's got some pretty trick stuff in it. It's pretty nice. And how close are we to getting this thing fired up, you think?
Well, we got to build a stainless exhaust for it yet, so that'll take a little bit of time. We got to get it scheduled, get that done, but that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
We're getting really on that part right there. We're right at that within a day or so.
So right now you're more involved in the wiring and that sort of thing?
Right, since I got that, I'm just working on the wiring, but once we get the opening to get it to the hoist, and then it'll get the exhaust, and it's getting all stainless. Customer wants it quiet, so we got some more quiet stainless mufflers, and we're going to put a stainless resonator.
Probably those long round tube mufflers or something like that?
Actually, this is getting a chambered muffler, but it's multiple chambers.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll
A
have
little bit larger
mufflers
one.
and resonators on it. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we're going to put an X pipe in it too. Really help drop the tones down, because these LS motors Don Hardy's built, they got a really nice note, and the customer really wanted to keep it kind of more on a subtle tone.
It's going to be nice. Like I said, it's probably going to be surprising power considering how quiet it's going to be, and nice smooth riding, sort of modern car. It's going to be pretty cool.
AKA a sleeper. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, a sleeper.
Yeah.
We'll be surprised.
Like I said, it's so unusual to see a four-door done to this level, and I just think it's a pretty cool project. But
Yeah, I'm not a big four-door fan, but I've fallen in love with this one.
this is going to be a beauty for sure. I like the big wraparound windshield and the wraparound rear glass too. It's pretty cool. And then being the hardtop style, I guess that stays all open there in between when the windows are down and everything.
Yeah, which really makes a statement on this car.
Pretty
Kind of
cool.
like a pavilion on wheels.
Well, anyway, thanks a lot, Bernie.
All right.
We do appreciate it. And as always, guys, we appreciate you watching and commenting and everything. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.